Mercury, the planetary messenger, is stationing direct December 15th, 2024 in the sign of Sagittarius. Information is and will be coming to light now that Mercury is stationing and moving direct. This is particularly emphasized as Mercury is stationing at the same time as the full moon in Gemini, and full moons bring things to light. So we should definitely be getting more and more mental clarity and informational clarity in the coming days than we have had since November 25th, when Mercury stationed to go retrograde. Hello, my name is Eliane Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what it means that Mercury is stationing direct. But first, I want to say, if you're watching this on Instagram, I'm only going to post the first 5 minutes. The entire video will be available on my YouTube channel, Eliane Nicole. My YouTube channel is my name, Eliane Nicole. Please find me there. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Please like, please comment, please share. Helps me in the algorithm and to grow my channel and my community, and puts me in a position to continue to give these free astrological offerings. If you are watching this on Instagram, please make sure that you are following astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. Please like, please comment, please share. Very helpful to me, free for you. And now, without further ado, I am going to talk about Mercury stationing in Sagittarius and what it means. And I'm going to do a very quick video because as a Gemini rising, Mercury is my chart ruler. And when Mercury stations in any retrograde, I tend to feel it in my body. I get tired. I want to be still as Mercury is slowing down and being still. And so that's kind of one way that a transit can express. But in general, this Mercury retrograde, the fact that it's happening the same time as the full moon, definitely means illumination around Mercury type of topics like, information, communications. But it can also be that something that you've lost is going to be found. It could be getting mental clarity over something where you've been reviewing or reflecting how to handle a situation, being more clear on the way forward. And this Mercury is, if you've been following my astrology, it's interesting. I actually find that Mercury videos get less views than other videos. I think people really like to know what's going on with Venus. People really like to know what's going on with Pluto. But I feel like sometimes Mercury isn't the most popular because Mercury is the planet of our intellect. It's how we think and how we speak and how we listen and how we learn. And I mean, really, that is everything. Communication is everything. Communication shapes our lives, really, I remember taking a linguistics class when I was at college at UCLA, and I remember just realizing how, language is really, it's what creates our reality. It is the fundamental, bottom line. And if you haven't already, go back and watch my full moon of Gemini video, because I talked a lot about that, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party energy around the full moon. But yes, there is so much about our language, our words, and our philosophical beliefs, really even more so in this Mercury because it's in Sagittarius. And I think for a lot of people during the retrograde, there's been like a reviewing of your own ideologies and your own belief systems and your own just kind of like philosophy on life. And now that Mercury is stationing to move forward, there may be some events that really drive it home for you around the 15th and the 16th, 14th, 15th, 16th, as Mercury is stationing. But in the coming weeks, as the moon is disseminating, as the moon is waning, you know, more and more clarity is going to be coming. You know, a big part of this Mercury story has had to do with Mercury in Sagittarius being in an opposition with Jupiter and Gemini, both planets in their detriment. So there has been this story of mutual deception. And this might literally translate into some people's lives of a situation of communication they're in with another person where there is mutual deception happening. And again, it all depends like which houses those planets fall in your charts. If it's in the first 7th house axis, it's going to be in relationships. If it's on the 2nd, 8th house axis, it's going to have to do with finances and money. If it's on the 3rd house, 9th house axis, it can have to do with education or school or travel or your community, your neighborhood. Like if it's on the 4th, 10th house axis, it can have to do with your home and your career or your private life and your professional life. If it's on the 5th, 11th house axis, it can have to do with your hopes and aspirations or your children or what you do for fun or joy, your creative projects. And if it's on the 6th, 12th house axis, it can have to do with your health, physical or mental health. And so it's going to hit different people in different ways. So if you're wondering where it is in your chart, you can definitely contact me for a reading. I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. Mercury is stationing. Mercury also rules the voice, and I am not loving how my voice sounds today. I feel a little edgy, but I think it's like I waited until the day of the station to do the video. I'm trying to learn to be more ahead with the videos. Not learn, but just, you know, schedule myself and discipline myself so that I'm doing the videos a few days before the transit happens instead of the same day. But true to Mercury retrograde fashion, I was not on top of that these past couple of weeks, but maybe now that Mercury is going direct, I will be. So stay tuned for videos coming out before the transit on my video. But yeah, I'm not going to spend too long here. You know, I feel like I said a lot in the full moon video, but what I do want to say is Mercury has been involved in this mutable T-square since the beginning, and we've been in pre-shadow since November 7th. So there, you may be able to go back to November 7th and see a storyline that began developing in your life then, and how it took a turn around Thanksgiving weekend, and now it's going to take another turn and start moving forward. And you know, for some people this is like lost packages. For some people this is technology that's not working. For some people this is, you know, misunderstandings or arguments with someone, or, you know, again, it varies. For some people it has to do with contracts or negotiations. There's a lot with this about the law too. There has been a lot, because Mercury in Sagittarius can be the philosopher or the lawyer or the professor or the teacher. It can be the travel agent. And it can be the visionary, you know? So any of these kinds of topics can have been going through this kind of reflective, revising, you know, rescheduling kind of period since November 25th. Yeah, so Mercury has been opposing Jupiter and squaring Saturn. So there has been this mutable T-square involving the signs of Gemini, Pisces, and Sagittarius. And the mutable T-square just has to do with everything changing. And the sun has been going through that T-square in Sagittarius as well. And so we're all under the mutable T-square. And so, but it's affecting some people more personally than others. If you have, oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever sneezed in a video before. Oh, I'm just going to get through this though, because I want to get through it and get it done. If you have any planets, if you have a, you know, sun, moon, and rising in the mutable signs like Gemini, Sagittarius, or Gemini, Sagittarius, or Pisces, this could be very personal to you. And for Virgos are making it the grand square, so it's particularly difficult for Virgos. But, it's just this sense of that everything is in flux. Nothing is stable. Nothing is going to be the way it appears to be right now. It's kind of like, the ground under our feet is not hard, but more like liquefying. But, it's going to stabilize more in the new year. And there's going to be some really big new starts. Things are going to be very different. The years of 2025 and 2026 are definitely game-changing years. They're years where virtually everybody is going to be making a new start, because the world is making a new start, and we're all part of the world. And so we're all going to, in different ways, be making new starts as well. And, the Mercury opposing Jupiter, that's kind of differing philosophical approaches. And then Saturn in the T-square is showing us our restrictions, our limitations, where we need to cultivate more emotional maturity, where we need to cultivate emotional boundaries, where we need to cultivate emotional intelligence. There are aspects of this for some people that have really had to do with a test of faith, an existential crisis. And, in some cases, there are people dealing with, just much harder topics, like, needing to sober up, some sobering experiences, some sobering information has come for a lot of people in this period. And, so people are dealing with a lot right now, and everything is changing, and change is not easy, but it's necessary. It's the one thing we can count on in life is lots of change. And so on December 26th, Mercury is going to oppose Jupiter and square Saturn, and on the same day. And Mercury has hit the opposition to Jupiter already twice on November 12th and December 4th. And he's hit the square to Saturn already twice on November 4th and December 6th. And so these themes have been developing, but things are really coming to a head in a major way at Christmas time. So Merry Christmas. But yeah, and just a lot of shifting and changing and shape shifting, and flexibility and adaptability are going to be the key. And then the new year comes, Mercury will be out of shadow on January 2nd. And so things start to feel like they're really moving ahead a lot more. Although Mars is still retrograde, and Mars will be hitting the opposition with Pluto January 3rd. So there is some really tough stuff in the beginning of the year, if I'm being honest. And I'm going to come back and do another video about that. But on the 6th, January 6th, Mercury is squaring Neptune, and this can cause a lot of mental confusion. For some people, this can bring things like overdoses, suicides. I hate to say it, I'll probably get blocked in the algorithm, but I'm kind of just like, you know what? I'm kind of in a, I don't give a mood today, because I don't know, because Mercury's stationed, and I'm a Mercury-ruled gal. I'm a Mercury-Venus gal. And anyway, I just want to finish up this video and just, for the most part, say a lot is shifting, a lot is changing, and, we are also changing how we think about things and how we talk about things as this all happens. And it can be a confusing time for a lot of people. And just stay the course, hang in there. Everything gonna be all right. And let's see what the, I'll just do a tarot card. This is the Rider-Waite deck. The most common tarot deck one of the decks I learned on, one of the main decks. It's a good deck to learn on, this deck. Page of Swords. That is such a Gemini card. A message. Good news. Good news is coming. Good news. It's good news that Mercury is stationing. At least things are going to start to become more and more clear now as the days go on. And we're headed into a new year with a lot of new energy coming at us. And, you know, those who are adaptable and flexible will win the day. And that means mentally flexible, physically, and spiritually. So thank you for joining me. Goodbye.